Okay, we will go ahead and start our.
I've got another chair for you right here.
Right. Oh, Sarah. We'll go ahead and start our meeting now. It is September 16th. Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting. I would like to welcome our newest member, Tara Abbott. She was just confirmed this month, a little earlier by the City Council. So, welcome aboard. If we can get some introductions from the visitors, if you would maybe just state your name. I know you just stated it for Kara, but if you would tell the board your name and who you represent.
Hi, my name is Sarah Rodriguez. I'm the Director of Virgin Cultures.
My name is Denise Salinas. I'm the community program coordinator. I'm sorry.
I'm in her new position.
My community position, I can't remember the title.
I'm Liz Bells Templeman. I'm a community volunteer.
All right. I think that's all the visitors that we have. I would like to get, can I get everybody should have received, hopefully received a copy of our August meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes? Make motion. Okay, Doug, second.
I'll second.
Kathy Ray, all in favor of approving the August 19th meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moving on to into the agenda, this kind of an introduction to this is an introduction for a possibility for utilization of the Fikes property over between Baker Prairie Junior High School and the Trost Elementary School. There's a lot that we own in that development, and it's called the Feist property or Feist Park. And we haven't, I don't know if we've had that property for quite some time, and we haven't done anything with it. We don't have many plans. The people that are here today would like to present, make a presentation for an idea, and they are applying for a grant, I believe. So they'll tell us all about it, and then we'll have a short discussion.
Who's the David on?
David Biscuit.
Is it David?
Yeah. Okay, so.
Do you want to start with the presentation?
Yeah, we'll start with the presentation. That way we can have this presentation. We'll have a little short discussion. We'll try to wrap it up in 10 minutes or so, and then you folks can leave and we can move on. Okay? All right, go ahead.
From here? From here, from there. From here? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Maria can give you hers.
Well, I'd like to pass these out if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. So I'm from Virgin Cultures. Oh, I'm just introduction to it first.
Thank you.
So a little bit about our organization. I don't know if any of you have all been out to our park events in the summer, but we have, I know you have, yeah. We have wonderful events that bring the community together across different backgrounds, a time where everybody can just meet and be comfortable around each other and learn about different cultures. So that's in a very small nutshell of who we are. Just about everything we do is centered around food. We all love food. And many cultures have food. That is what binds people together in a number of ways. So we are here to talk about this potential food forest in the Feist Park. Our ask is that the city support us in this. The grant that we're applying for is $300,000 to $500,000, and that would cover it would cover labor, and it would cover consultation, and then all of the upgrade work. You'll see pictures in a minute. But with that, I will pass it to Denise.
Like I mentioned previously, I am the community program coordinator. I've been with Bridging Culture since 2020 during COVID time. Took a break and I came back into this new position, that's why I couldn't remember the title. Into this community, we have a community garden that's located in Baker's Ferry. A total of 16 beds that we have. It's been 7 years since we've had those garden beds. And really what we do there is we try to build relationship with the community, give opportunity to those who don't have access to a yard, you know, those who live in apartment complex, we give them the opportunity to have of their own to plant, harvest what they like. And that's kind of what we're trying to get at with this food forest, really trying to make it into what's it called? Over here. Yeah. So through this grant opportunity, we hope to take the next step, ensuring year-round access to nutritious, locally grown food for our neighbors, while also restoring the local ecosystem. At the same time, this project gives the city a chance to transform unused space into a thriving community asset, one that continues to nourish both people and place for years. So our big ask is, you know, for this big grant opportunity is ask, you know, you guys can approve for this. It benefits the school, such close tie to the school, neighbors in the back. It's a really neat project, and I'm gonna pass it to Liz, who's gonna explain what is the food forest.
Can we get the slides to go
You can
in
get
the
a
right
slide.
order? It'll work
Yeah, it'll work
with that arrow keys.
with the arrow, yeah. So you wanna go the other arrow.
No, I want to go back,
Oh,
because
no,
we
go
weren't at the beginning. Okay. All right, so this was the first slide, right? This is what we were talking about, right? And you have a copy of the slideshow too, so you can read it. So the vision for Feist Park is to make it into a food forest. How many of you know what that is? Anyone else? Okay, it's a well, the picture shows you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have different layers. And it's a permaculture design so that it takes minimal resources to produce lots of food, right? So you have bigger trees that can be nut or fruit, then you might have a smaller fruit tree, apples, this one shows peach. There's lots of ways to design it. Then you have the middle layer, right? Some shrubs, maybe you have grapevines. And then you're planting perennials like asparagus, strawberries as ground cut. So many of the layers produce food, or there's pollinators, maybe they have cut flowers. So a lot of design goes into it before you even plant. Any questions about?
Who's going to design it?
We're going to consult with permaculture experts. I do this type of gardening in my own home, but I'm not an expert, I'm not trained. So we contacted a couple of
Okay.
permaculture
Okay.
experts.
And they'll design it, who will plant,
It's community driven,
volunteers
yes, from the community, Bridging
from Bridging
Cultures.
Culture.
And anybody else that is interested, right? Bridging Cultures has a mix of community supporters.
Sure.
So whoever's interested, right? Not everybody's interested in the.
And will the goal be organic or? you gonna-
Well, with permaculture, you don't have to add a lot of
Right.
herbicides, pesticides, amendments
But
to,
you could.
if necessary, of course. And then there are organic sprays if needed, and there's organic fertilizers.
We've done all organic gardening at the.
At Big Prairie.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. you.
Yeah. I mean, that's, of course, right, that's best
Right.
for the
Yeah.
ecosystem. Any other questions?
Is this in addition to what's going on at Baker Prairie?
Yeah, Baker Prairie is an example of what Bridging Cultures has been doing for
Over 10 years,
Over
we've
10
had a successful community garden.
Yeah, so there's just kind of a summary of what I talked about. grant?
Sure, so I'll just go through this very briefly, but the grant is, we actually meet on just about every single qualifier for the grant, so we're very confident in our ability to secure that, because the priorities are large scale, low maintenance, right? And this is what this permaculture project would be: drought resistant tree planting, plantings that include native plants. We also have a partner, which is David Kleinke. He's from the Candy Garden Club, who have the native plant sanctuary. So we planting trees near a school campus, we're working to strengthen communities. The project's carried out by a city that has adopted a plan to increase urban tree canopy cover. Communities' cultural practices to educate. And the list just goes on. So basically it's creating new green infrastructure, and the project directly benefits the public. And it's free for everyone, so.
Well, so, I mean, if one of the neighbors wanted to walk in there and pick whatever, are they can do that?
Absolutely. Our community garden has operated that way for several years. This year, actually, we've had a significant increase in people going and actually clearing out the garden a few times. And that's okay, because a lot of us put work into it. It's for the community. We would pick the produce and distribute it at our food distribution anyway. And so anybody who wants it can come get it. And then I was just gonna say, no barriers, no requirements. It's open to the public.
When David talked to you, he had mentioned you had some questions.
Well,
Right, about,
I sent him some questions
Yeah.
in regards to maintenance.
Yeah.
right,
Where's the water coming from? What do you need for a hookup?
Yeah.
What is your timeline like this? Or we're waiting for the grant to be approved before we can move forward.
right, the grant is due October 16th, so we need to have approval from the city to move forward, right? We're not gonna write the grant unless we
Okay.
have the okay to use the Feist Park. Right,
October 16th, so it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
The ongoing maintenance is minimal. The first, obviously, setting it up is of extraordinary amount of work, which is why the grant is so large, to cover a lot of that. It'll have to be overseen by staff and professionals.
and it takes time for the plants to
The plants
mature,
have to grow
right?
and mature,
Right,
so
but you're not looking for city employees to plant.
no, absolutely, no. The only thing we need from the city is permission and water. Now, the water in the beginning is more than the water in, after a few years, it tapers off. It's pretty much self-sustaining, and you would only need drought seasons. There is, now David went and evaluated it. I understand that there is water that is connected to that housing development right there. So there's a water, I don't know the language, but it's like a water hookup right there
Yeah,
at the park. So it's accessible, no plumbing or, additional.
We're just, you guys to see these, all the utilities are in,
what's SDC is.
just system development charges
Okay.
to hook up the water.
Yeah, and if that's something that we know about, we can
Yeah.
include it in the grant. So the grants are pretty, that's a pretty decent sized grant.
Well, there might be sidewalk improvements and stuff that need to be done too, Ryan, for planning.
We had talked about whether or not we would have benches or picnic tables or anything like that. At this stage of planning, we're not necessarily anticipating picnic tables, but maybe a few benches, maybe just a walkway, so that people can access the fruit and the produce without having to travel through the dirt.
Are there examples of other such gardens
Food
around.
forest, yes, not in Camden.
No, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think I know if there was one, but.
Yes, there are numerous ones, but we're in the Portland metro area. If you want a list, I'd be happy to
Yeah.
send that to you.
And you said there will be a plan.
Yeah.
That goes along with it,
Yeah.
so we would be able to, well, if we agree to move forward and you apply for the grant, there would be a plan that we would see.
Right, I would assume we would have some kind of letter of understanding where, yes, you would be a part of the planning process to go to the land.
And it could be, your support can be contingent upon approval of a plan and, you know, awarding of the the grant or whatever.
So initially, moving forward, was paying the water bill.
There's no water right now.
No, I'm talking about if it is approved, we're putting water down. And in the future, when we're using water, we're paying the water bill.
I don't have an answer to that, but in the design process, we can make predictions on the amount of water it would take depending on what the design looks like. And then we could calculate the cost.
But that's one of the answers we don't have.
Yeah.
And we understand that we may be asking the city to pay for some of that water. We don't have the calculations yet to be able to say exactly what. However, that can be another contingency, so.
My guess, if I mentioned this to Barry, is that the water would only be during the hottest times of the year. And the overall park would be much less costly to maintain than like a standard park where
Sure,
you have to
moving
mow the
forward,
grass
right.
all the time and all that
Exactly.
stuff.
Exactly.
However, the first year,
Sure.
the first couple of years, it might be more.
Right. But still maybe less than what a regular park.
Sure, absolutely. If you look here, this is our garden on the left, and this demonstrates a little bit of the layered effect. You can see in the very back, there's some vines, I believe. Green beans.
Up on the,
And then the flowers, and then you see moving forward, there's some squash, and then this one, the closest large one is peppers. And then down below are green onions. So you can kind of see how we did that in a very small space. We were able to do that. And then on the right-hand side is the Feist Park property. I believe it's the one on the left. So the one on the right would be Trost, right?
grassy lot.
Yeah, so we'd really love to do this to that property.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Ryan, how does this fit in with the park master plan? Because I assume this would remain city property and would then be determined as a park. It is in our park master plan.
I think community gardens are discussed in there. I mean, like a lot of things on this, I don't think there's necessarily like an explicit policy or something in there saying we shall do a community garden, but I think the plan in general supports it.
Thank you, because I really wanted to know about the master plan. I'm glad you brought that up, because
Yeah.
that's one thing I don't know.
And I assume then you want the city to maintain ownership of this property as a park.
It was my understanding that it was already designated as a city park that never developed. Long ago,
Yeah.
like 15
Right.
years ago, when that development went in. Right.
Yeah,
So we're not looking at taking over the ownership,
right.
but
Okay.
certainly permission.
Use of the land.
Yeah, use of the land.
Right, so this, Brad would have to go through, I assume, some sort of public hearing or public meeting because to involve the neighborhood associations.
I mean, it would be good practice. I mean, nothing land use wise, what I think is gonna trigger site design review. So from a planning standpoint, no, but I mean, I think, you know, including our master plan encourages us always to outreach, yeah.
You to reach out. Yeah. Have you had any discussions with the neighborhood association?
No. However, that is how we operate.
Right.
We're community driven, so,
Do they have
everybody
an
has a
HOA?
voice.
Development? I'm not
I
even
don't know.
sure which.
Which one is it?
I don't.
Twice,
It is Feist development.
well, on the, across the street, I don't know about that
We can
side.
probably find out from the mayor, since he's in that subdivision.
Yeah,
Okay.
and any other, you know, concerns that come up, we would gladly have, we would want to have the opportunity to address those and also acknowledge those in the grant, right? Because that can affect the budget, obviously, and the timeline, so.
Well, I appreciate your time and presentation. It sounds like I told David, that sounds like a good idea for a property that we don't have a plan for right now. But at a later date, maybe we would sell that piece of land, I don't know. But it's a garden, so it could be removed easily. Do we need to make a motion or do we need to take a vote of board members here that to get our feeling about moving forward? They have until October 16th in order to generate this grant. It's gonna be, I mean, there's some other things they may need to present to the HOA. I don't know.
That's what I would suggest that the motion is around, is consultation with the neighborhood, whether they're have an HOA or not, but to make sure this aligns with what they would want.
If they don't mind, I mean, if we approve, or if we say it's fine with us,
Yeah,
and then the HOA approves,
yeah, then,
we could,
yeah,
I'd be curious to see what the hookup would be money wise as far as that goes. But we're entering into the rainy season anyways, right? So
right.
that should help out.
But, you know, we water a normal park. Keep the grass green, probably would take less water than that.
Right.
So,
Jared, do you see any effects to parks?
No, I just was thinking the same thing you were, Jim, with the master plan in the neighborhoods. That was my biggest thing, is what the neighborhood thought about it. You know, because I know you're big on that, reaching out, community
yeah, I
input.
think that's really important.
But, no, as far as everything stubbed into it, as far as the public works side of having utilities to it, we don't have to rip streets up or anything major. Probably $3,500 for a SCC fee or something, Brian, I can't remember exactly. But no, it sure worked for it.
If there's no, homeowners, then would you still want us to talk to the neighbors?
I mean, HOA.
I think so.
Oh, yeah. But this committee's been really good about reaching out to the neighborhood associations and having public meetings, whether it's Maple Street Park or Dodds or whatever.
Right, but we don't know if that has an HOA.
Well, it doesn't, we still, even with that, you go out and hand out flyers.
Yeah,
that
and
they're gonna
it's
have a
door
get
knocks.
together. Here's what's going on in this property type thing.
I think that, you know, from our board, is there anybody opposed to this project? I mean, if you are, just say, I don't think anybody's opposed, we could move forward. The next step is for you folks to, you know, find out if there's an HOA, schedule a meeting with them, let them know what your intent is, and to get their approval and then come back. But I mean, we need to do it quickly for you, which is,
Well, and it's gotta go through, this is our city administrator, and it would have to go through council as well.
so we don't meet again until October. So,
So if the motion was something along the lines of the Parks Board gives tentative approval to this plan, once the neighbors'
once the,
input has been sought.
once
And,
the neighborhood association,
right,
so
something along those lines.
if we could do a motion along those lines, there's kind of a contingency.
I got it, is this a one-time grant? Is it like something, an annual type of thing that pops up?
It's indicated as a one-time grant, however, frequently they renew. no guarantee of that. But I will say that we have several programs that we've had successfully for over 20 years, so we work really hard to ensure that we continue our programs. Just continue to seek funding.
Our next meeting's not till the 21st, so they would need something by then. So I think your suggestion to make a motion to council or to city administrator.
Yep.
That
We could do a letter of support.
we move forward with the seeking approval by council
Right,
with the
contingent on the neighborhood being in favor of it,
Yes,
regardless of whether it's an HOA or just individual neighbors that have been told.
right. So we can,
Somebody make a motion. I mean, I don't think it's appropriate for me to do it.
Mr. Chair, I move that we support this food forest and elevate it to the city council barring or with neighborhood, whether it's a neighborhood association or just talking to the neighbors, they're okay as well.
there's a motion on the table by board member Simon. Do I have a second? Anybody?
Can I get some exact wording? Sure. Jim moves that the Parks Board supports the food forest and moving it to city council with the approval or
Notification, the neighbors.
Yeah, with notification and approval by the neighborhood association.
I'll say neighborhood association and or neighbors because they're
Yeah,
not.
they might not have.
If they don't talk about it,
That's a good question.
Is it best practice is the ones directly bordering
I would
property?
think so, yeah.
Can we use instead of approval, maybe just without?
Yeah,
Without, yeah, instead,
without consent.
yeah. That's really good.
When you have it, do you want to read it back to us?
Yes. Okay. The Parks Board supports the food forest and moving it to city council with the notification and lack of dissent of HOA and or neighbors.
That sounds good. That sounds, so. We have first, Jim made the motion, Kathy Ray seconded that. All in favor of that motion that Karen just read for us, say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Garrett said aye. I heard it. So,
Know that it matters that I voice my opinion, but I'm very enthusiastic about this. I think it's a great idea.
Also, I'm the planning manager for the city, and one of my colleagues at the county have reached out about this grant program. They're looking for communities to support applying for it, so they might be able to write a letter of support too. So I can reach out to her, or maybe connect with that.
I would love to find out who it is because
That's
we work
great,
very
right?
closely with the county.
Karen, I think we have, I think we're 7-0.
Yes.
All right, that's great.
Thank you.
If you could send me to the information you're giving the neighbor in case we get questions, we can let them know what's going on.
Imagine we'll probably.
And also I forwarded the PowerPoint to David Stock, so yes.
Great.
I do want to ask if there's any specific questions or questions in any, asked in a specific way that you may let us know. Otherwise, we'll just kind of create our own. I do really quickly want to introduce our president, who was not here when we started. This is Araceli Barajas. So,
Okay, I'm gonna need some spelling on that.
ARA,
Okay, hang on just a second. Okay, let's see. All right, go ahead.
ARACELY,
Okay,
and Barajas, BARAJAS.
perfect.
Sorry, I was like, I from Portland, have an
Wow.
architecture firm over there, so it's a drive.
Thanks so much for
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we hope to see you and all of you out there.
Okay, Jerry. So it's on you now.
Auburn Farms, we're under construction, which is great news. So it's going good. Completion date, April 10th. I know, I don't know, that's what I think we're just getting through the preliminary stuff and all that, so. Talk to Randy, when we get done, we're gonna do a big ribbon cutting and stuff like that, so. Auburn's is going good, Maple Street Park, phase 3 upgrades, we're just still, working on that with, Dawn and Brian are working on that for the SDC stuff to see if we can get funding to do that, the parking lot and the upgrades. The sign, I apologize, I've been busy on not getting the sign, and I might need some help from you folks on how to make a sign that tells everyone where the other parking lot is. And Jim, you might not be up to speed on, basically, Barry went out to a couple ball games. One parking lot was full, it seemed like no one knew where the other one was, so we're trying to look on some verbiage.
And there was one of 6 cars.
Does that make sense, Jim? Yeah, and so I'm gonna, Barry talked about maybe getting a couple of us together on talking outside of this to make a sign to put up there. So that's what's happening with.
So the very beginning, you were saying, where are we at with all
On-
this?
On Maple Street,
Yeah.
phase 3, we're looking in to see what part of it is SDC eligible.
Okay.
Dawn's working on that. The parking signage, Kara, gonna get together with Barry and maybe a couple of you guys if you could help me with some verbiage.
I think Ryan Oliver, since he's Ballfield. Mr. Ballfield.
I kind of wanted to talk to Ryan too about like, hey, all the coaches and stuff that know their go park in that other parking lot, you know, and that might,
People will follow you.
yeah.
And the home team.
Yeah, so I wanted to have that conversation, and then Barry and I still haven't gone and looked at a restroom that we want to look into. I think that's still on our list of things to do, but Barry's busy coaching and.
You were on vacation last
Oh, I'm on vacation, I was blaming you, but yeah, my fault.
Don't throw that.
Theme the park contest.
Well, okay, so Kara posted on her website, you know, hey, we got a new park coming out. There might be some interest or what, are there suggestions or whatever, and most of the suggestions were negative.
That's not true. Did you read them?
I did read them up
There
to
was-
David Biscar, I'd say 75% of them.
Well, I don't agree with that, but there were a couple of people that were like, we don't need another park, we're not,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, so.
I thought there was some good conversation too.
Here's I thought Randy in conversation with him had a good idea of maybe presenting this to the schools also, not just the elementary school, but high school, junior high school, maybe getting them some applications and, I don't know what certain class that there might be. You've got kids in the high school, maybe they would know, and who we could get some background or some help in getting those things sent to the schools. I don't know, but maybe we could reach out to Jamie or something. I don't know.
Has there been any interest?
I have maybe 5.
What
they are
are the
doing.
ones?
Well, I didn't bring it.
Well, we need,
Anything good?
I don't really.
It's because you.
yeah, exactly.
The one I have right here is Auburn Farms, so.
I mean, no one knows that the neighborhood's called that anyway, so.
That's what I said, it would be, on the farm for just being.
Oh, just that. So, yeah, I.
What is that land called? Who owned
It was Simmons. That was, could be Simmons Fire.
Could be Sandra Park.
It was-
Exactly.
feels, I don't know, all the ones on the Facebook page felt like a reach, I mean, some people were like Daisy Park, and they're like, those are dahlias.
Yeah.
So, they're very
Daisy.
busy.
Well,
There's a landscaping club at the high school, things like that too. So
yeah,
you could like toss it in there and see.
I think that would be a good idea, get the community involved, and I don't know,
Sad. Same at Auburn.
No. Okay, so,
Sorry.
well, one of the nice things about going through the schools is that, I noticed on the Facebook, is that a lot of people just said, here's my suggestion, and that's not how it works. You know, you have to fill out the form,
Fill
and
out the
I
form.
responded with people and said, here, you know, and sent the link and the whole 9 yards. But
right,
with the schools, the teachers would be able to help the kids navigate to that.
steer them in the right
Yeah,
direction.
yeah. So,
I think that's a good idea. And, you know, maybe, you know, through the community, not just through the schools, but, you know, your neighbor might have something they want to call it. I don't know. But we know, and you've said, there is a application process online, so if they want to, you know.
Yeah.
Go in there and put it in. I don't know as if, I don't know as if, do you want to give a gift certificate, or is there
So I was thinking some sort of incentive.
an incentive?
well, I think it's a pretty big incentive to have a park, get the name you suggested.
They get to cut the ribbon.
They can cut the
They
ribbon.
can
Yeah, but to come up with quality ideas.
Yeah,
Still,
I think the high schoolers would be better than like other schools.
yeah.
Because kids, they'll just come with anything. But I feel like,
Booger Park.
yeah. I feel like a high schooler.
You took my name.
That's
Use
what
that
it's
one.
gonna be.
Is there a reason that it wouldn't be called Auburn Farms? I'm just curious.
No, I mean, there's no reason why it wouldn't be.
And where did that name come from?
Isn't
Yeah,
that
so
what
they
you
just-
developed?
Is it from California?
Could be, yeah, exactly.
Is there a historical person from the city of Canby that hasn't been acknowledged by a ski street or a school or some
That's
sort of park name?
That's a good one, actually.
That's for.
I think there may be one, Frank Cusford's Park. I don't have it with me, but I do believe.
Well, I would be all for that. I think that would be tremendous. Just my 2 cents.
So anyways, we'll go a little bit further than that.
Do we, Randy and I need to do anything on this, Barry, at this point?
On the naming of the park?
Yeah.
No, but I might reach out to Jamie Sniffle to get her ideas, maybe. Back tomorrow. But I think the high school, if we can get some copies, I'll talk to Jim later and maybe we can get some copies to the high school. He has 2 kids there, so. Go ahead, Jerry.
Kiosks, community park, we've heard some back and forth on that. We got some information on it, brought it forward to you. Seems like it might be kind of a big thing to do this, so what are you thinking, maybe, is that something you and Randy talked about, various, like get a task force? Talk about that, or where did that come from?
The kiosk?
Pursue or not, create a task force.
I said pursue or not, because we brought it up at our last meeting and you had mentioned that Oregon City had one and they made like $60,000.
Silverton.
Silverton.
Silverton, their little park up there made 60,000. They love it. They love the system we looked at.
Okay.
And
So-
police supported this too, which was really good.
George Trost supported.
George Tro supported this.
So the question is, to our board, do we want to pursue going forward with that? And if we do we need to create what do we need to do to move forward?
And I can add to that because like the task force is a good idea if that was yours, Randy, because.
It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that is.
Because a lot of them, they don't charge their own community, they only charge out of towners coming in. You know, there's so many different variables that we could do with this. You can go get a pass, you know, on that, so there's a lot to it.
Well, and then the point is which parts would you put in
Yeah.
the community park for one? And I don't know, I put on their Echo Park for the other.
What is this kiosk charge?
That'd be part of the other question of like,
How
what do you
much?
charge $3, $5, you know?
Just a park for
For
parking,
parking,
yes.
for parking. And we have a real big problem down there in the summer with, for police and fire, because people don't park right, all, you know, and it's overcrowded. And we go through, it's gotten so busy in the summer, we have huge added expense parks department for maintaining that toilet paper, cleaning and picking up
So,
trash.
For community park, you're talking about.
Community, yeah. So it'd be, I think, $8,000 to get this thing going, I think, is what kind of rough numbers. All the utilities are there. Those aren't, you know, don't quote me on the numbers, but it'd be under 10,000 probably to install one of these. They thought we might need two there, but they're the ones selling them. So there's a lot of questions with this. It's, I think, Barry, just with that information, I guess you can decide if you guys want to move forward with it.
Well, what do we think? Is that something that we should pursue, maybe put together a small task force? Because I know during the summertime, when it's busy, they park on that driveway up and down, and emergency vehicles cannot get in there if they have somebody in danger or whatever to, you know, so they can't get in. Community park is definitely a candidate for that, a parking kiosk.
Well, go ahead, how would a kiosk keep people from still being done, they're still gonna park there? Kind of like the, whatever that would, the pay to park at the Knight's Bridge and people just
Well,
I can answer that.
don't pay to park, it's.
Go ahead.
It might not be so much to help with that, but the cost that we have to put down there with signage, striping. I mean, we're down there having to change striping constantly, and so it helped recoup our costs on maintenance on it. I don't know if it would detour people from going down there or not having to pay, but I don't know about that. So
Here's the other thing, because I know based on a baseball tournament at Melbourne Bar and Gladstone,
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
And they have-
Situation.
they have a code enforcement person that walks down there. And if you don't have a tag, a pass, they don't hesitate. They call and your car is towed, so.
That's what this would be some sort of parking enforcement would have to be done on the weekend.
Absolutely.
And that's probably paid out of the fees, I mean, we don't have to, it's just parking
So-
enforcement now.
Well,
We have a code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
Others gotta park up behind Ace Hardware.
yeah, I know, Jim, there's a lot to it.
then you can issue the ticket.
Yeah, we can issue the ticket,
But to your point, I mean, I think it makes sense for community park. I don't know that it's gonna change people parking up and down the sides. But paying for the use of the park, because there's no park charge, I think it makes a lot of sense for community park. But I don't see it making sense for anywhere else. Because like Echo Park, yeah, sometimes it's full, but there's no maintenance costs there's no bathrooms that need to be resupplied, there's no nothing at Echo Park.
Yeah, knock on wood, we don't have to do a lot there.
Yeah.
One right up
It's
here.
spray over. Yeah, yes, spray over.
We can run a sweeper through it. It's pretty easy to maintain, stripe it every 3 years. It's
Right.
a lot easier parking to maintain.
Right, so I don't see that as being one that's necessary but community park makes a lot of sense, because there's a lot of space down there, can accommodate a lot of people, and it's very busy during the summertime.
How about Maple Street?
We just got talking
Are
with,
you trying
with
to
our-
raise Sonia? Well, I thought of that too, but,
we were just trying to figure revenue sources for our parks department.
yeah,
See
no,
if
I
this could help.
like it for community park, but like Maple Street, if we did it there, more people would park on the street, which is a big
That's what I should-
problem, we don't want that. We don't want to encourage that in any way.
Maybe just test it out at a community park.
Yeah,
See how it goes.
I think so.
I think it's worth it.
Well, do you think that it pencils out if we only did community park?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of another park that even down the road, we would want to do this for.
I mean, Silverton, I talked to them for a long time about this, they love it. It's
Okay.
60,000 a year coming in when they didn't, and it's literally the maintenance on this thing is you just gotta make sure the roll of paper's in there to take
Yeah.
it out. So, and it sits over
Yeah.
the bathroom, they gotta walk over to it and all that. And they just said the biggest thing is enforcement. If you don't enforce it, it's a waste of time.
Right.
So having George Trell on it was a big thing for me
Yeah.
to.
I like the idea for community park.
Well, and I
That's my
think
2 cents.
the fire department would be in favor of it too. 'Cause it'll clear some of
And
that.
if we did do a task force, this gentleman's from Seattle, he's glad to drive down and meet with the group and explain, answer all the questions to these people that are gonna be paying for it or whatever, so.
What did Slogan say about the initial like community feedback?
I didn't ask too much about that because I think, I forgot to see if there was outcry, but what she told me is they did a paper one before. So I didn't ask before that. Everyone got happy when they went from, put it in an envelope and write down your address and driver's license and stuff. And so everyone was super happy, Jim, when they went to that. So I didn't ask on the original fee, so.
Does anybody wanna jump on a task force?
It'd be nice, because I know the mayor had a conversation with someone about this, he had mixed feelings, Jim, was that you that told me or some, yeah.
That was
So,
quite a while ago.
because it is gonna bring feedback to our city council if we start charging in the park, so I mean.
Well,
Makes sense,
Go ahead.
makes sense to like have it only up and running like Memorial Day to Labor Day or something, you know what I mean? Like not just to go play at the park with your kids on a nice day in April. You're not using, I don't know.
During our busy time.
Yeah, like this is why this is here, it's to help maintain this park, keep it nice. This is when you need to.
that's a good, maybe certain, maybe Labor Day through.
Yeah.
Memorial.
Yeah.
Our street maintenance task force we put together was super helpful, getting different people from the community to come in and have input, and then it wasn't just, us group deciding this on our own, so.
Right.
Maybe we put together, we say do this a group and have some people from each neighborhood around, some from each, different HOAs, maybe a city councilor too.
Yeah, well, majority during the summertime, there's very few Canby citizens down.
Yeah,
From outside of Canby.
which one, I capture that
Never
funding.
gone down there in the summer,
Well,
never.
Yeah.
It just
So
looks like
then,
chaos.
it would affect, yeah,
May I ask where the Knights Bridge parking stuff, who is that?
See, Knight's Bridge is, that's county,
Okay.
that's county.
Okay.
They want us to take it
Do they?
Yeah.
That one feels a little like, what are we paying for? Pothole?
though.
But the same problems that we're having in community. park.
Yeah. At least there's a rescue group.
We'll do something along it.
let's you and I get together, or maybe Andy, and, okay, what sounds good.
Okay, so I'd be interested in being on a task force if we're gonna do that. So,
I would too, because it's gonna affect ACE. It's
Okay,
definitely gonna affect ACE.
there we go. Kara, Doug, myself, Jerry. We can do that. Really? You talk to the guy from Seattle. All right, sounds good, we'll move forward. David, you still on it?
I see you.
Do you wanna?
Still here.
Okay. You have any comments on the pool, because, I talked to some folks lately.
No, I'm not even sure where they're at on it right now. I think he's just waiting for the engineer to get back, and I sent out that email and I haven't heard much. I don't know what's going on.
You,
Yeah, the, council awarded, engineering bid to SEA, for some maintenance at the swim center.
He's at a soccer game.
Yeah, he's on.
Yeah.
David, can
I'm
you-
sorry, I'm not, yeah, I'm,
It's all right.
There you go.
Also,
So
you
can you start again? 'Cause I couldn't.
want me to start again?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So we awarded a contract to architects the other night for about, I don't know the exact number, 125, 130,000 to be the architect engineering class for the project of the maintenance upgrades for the swim center. That'll issues will happen there. And it's been long awaited. There's a budget of $750,000 in the swim center budget that Campy has been saving for a long time to help address some of this. Estimate to do a whole new pool. Range from anywhere from 15 million to like 40 million, right? Big numbers. So, this is sort of taking a step to help do some upgrades to really invest in the pool. So, long story short, here we are. We have taken that step finally. And Mr. Biscar knows because he used to run the swim center, so he's very interested in the steps that we're taking for maintenance and working on the locker rooms, the dressing rooms, a lot of contact with kids and swimmers and adults and parents and modernized that are money's going to be spent addressing. Put it there. There are some people that feel that we might be able to go a little further. The pipes underneath the swim center, as Mr. Biscar would point out, are 70-some years old, 50 to 70 years old. You know, Jerry has staked and Spencer has staked those lines over the years. So, you know, we could have probably Groundhog Day conversations about, do we want to rip all that plumbing up? Do we want to, you know, which is extra money? But right now, the project in front of us, which is going to be bid, we still have to bid it out. There's an RFP that'll go out, is for some of the dressing room type of modernization projects.
Because David worked at the pool for so long.
Yeah.
I've asked that David be our representative from the board to be included in conversations that they have at this side moving forward.
Yeah.
And Randy is great for that, so hopefully David will be part of those conversations and then he can report to us when we have our next board meeting.
can you hear me better now?
We got you.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been hearing you.
Okay, I guess my point, I just think the project should be bigger than it is, and that's what I'm trying to get done. And I think there's money there to be used to increase it, because like I talked with Randy, they're not going to build a pool in this city anytime soon. So now's the time to put money into what we have and make it as good as we can.
Lake Oswego swimming pool was 42 million, but it was more than just all. There's other things,
I
but
think that included the golf course also and pickleball courts and all kinds of stuff, but it was that much, you're right.
Well, they had a bond or whatever that was approved. Okay, so as everybody knows, I mean, I've been asking for transparency in our parks maintenance fee for years. And still sitting nowhere. I had my wife fill out a records request because I was told I couldn't do it because I was out for it, but so I had my wife do it. So anyways, it was turned into the city, and then the city sent back information to me that any of my request for them to do that, they were gonna charge me X amount of dollars. It worked out to about $153 to get these answers that should be available without a whole hell of a lot of work, but I'm not paying $153 to have it done. I mentioned it to Randy, and Randy said, well, should the city administrator be able to ask for that work to be done? And I thought, yeah. So Randy said to bring it up at our board, if we as a board want to ask Randy, our city administrator or council, to find out or request, basically, it's all written in the agenda. Request for transparency as to what the plant maintenance fee expenditures were from its inception in 2018 to the present day. We have spent, or we have earned, I would say, since about 2018, a little over $3 million, probably going more towards $4 million since 2018 in parks maintenance fees. And where is it going? I just want transparency as to where that money's going. Is it going to hourly rate hours? Is it going to payroll? We should be able to capture that and say it's going to this guy, this guy, this guy. Is it going to, we know that there was a budget shortfall. Is it going to help even out the budget shortfall that the city has? I don't know. Are we paying? I don't know.
Does everybody on your board know what you're talking about?
We've been talking about
What the fee is?
the plant maintenance fee.
Yeah, the parks maintenance fee.
Parks maintenance.
What it is, and how it's collected.
Oh, the one that's like the sewer.
Yeah, $6.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Because we all pay it, and I think at one point I asked the city council, in front of the city council for the same kind of information, just so it says, yeah, we've been on our work. There's a lot of, yeah, we should probably get that.
Yeah.
And there's,
Well, it's requested numerous times.
right, so I kind of agree with you, this should not be a typical.
right.
It's been in our meeting minutes almost monthly for 5 years. So
Kind of see this as water, to me anyway, with the change of administration, and leadership in the city and stuff, this is water under the bridge. So I'd like to ask Randy to kind of update his thoughts on this. He can go back and fix what was wrong before.
but we should be able to find out, we might not be able to fix it. We can only fix it going forward. But we can find out where that money went before.
Why we let Randy present? Randy, talk about it.
Well, there's a couple, you guys have, I didn't make handouts, but the city has a couple ordinance here. One is called the street maintenance fee, which is one of your city codes. And it's pretty specific about where that money, how it's collected, and where it goes. And then you have another ordinance, which is your parks maintenance fee, and it's specific about how it's collected, but it's also specific that it goes in the general fund. So it doesn't go into a specific like Parks and Rec fund. So that I think is causing some of the consternation, like it's going into this general where we pay for police, the libraries, right? And so it's getting commingled with personnel costs and soft costs. And there's no like direct dollar for dollar exchange on sawdust for parks and, you know what I mean? And parks maintenance fee. So we could ask council to take a look at tightening up the language to make it more like your street maintenance fee. So it's more specific that this money, when it comes in, it's gonna go into a Parks and Rec fund, right? Because That's one way to go. And I did make handouts on this, just to kind of give you a budget. I don't know if you ever get budget updates as a parks board, but I thought I'd bring you a 30-day snapshot of your parks street parks maintenance fee, just to kind of, so we can all get on the same page about what's going on with your parks money. And I'll wait till it makes the round. Okay, so the front page is, this is a snapshot here from July 1st through July 31st. 30 days, which is our fiscal year, our first month, okay? And what you're seeing is on page 5, which is the first page. Everybody with me? If you look at the kind of second line down, it says parks maintenance fee. We have collected $48,270, and we're budgeting to collect $570,000. This is what Barry's talking about. He wants to know about this $570,000 that is going into the general fund. So now I did a math. I did 48,000 times 12, and that gets us to around 560. So I mean 580. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit more than we budgeted for at the end of the year if everything goes right. So that's page 1. You can see our total parks revenue with our SDC money. You've heard that SDC term a couple times tonight, system development charges. Brian, I think, might be talking about this a little bit later on tonight, if we're still here. We collect, when a builder comes into the city, parks system development charges. It's a nice, healthy account right now at almost $5 million. This is how we pay, hopefully, for some park improvements, bathrooms we're talking about, extra parking sorry, the name is escaped me, the park, Maple Street. Thank you, Maple Street. We're trying, we're maybe going to do some appraisals on some properties to see how much they're worth. Sometimes we ask developers to build their own parks in lieu of paying SDC fees. So anyway, you can see a nice little chunk of change here where we have a budget for your parks fund of about $5.371 million. Now, if you simply just flip the page over, this is how we budgeted, this is before my time, to spend the money. And you can see, if you look all the way down at the bottom of the first column, where it says $76,650.81, we have already spent more than we've taken in park maintenance fees in the first month, which probably drives, I can see the blood pressure, Mr. Johnson, Barry, going up right now. So this is what we're trying to get figured out for you guys, right? Because $52,983.25 of that has been spent on personnel, right? Guys going out, mowing lawns, changing toilet paper. It takes people to keep the parks clean. But down in materials and services, which is, I think, where you're wanting the money to go, we've only spent $23,667.56 on parks maintenance. Does that make sense? That second kind of tranche. Expenditures are in 3 different categories. Personnel at the top, materials and services in the middle, and then lastly, capital outlay, which is where we're going to try and spend that SDC money for major projects. Auburn Farms, Maple Street, etc. So I'll pause there, but that's what we're trying to unpack here, right?
Well, so let me ask you, so.
How's your blood pressure?
I think it's fine, it's still in under capital outlay, you say total parks department is $76,650. That isn't coming out of the parks maintenance fee, that's coming out of parks SDC. That would be.
No, add 52,009, just it reads vertically. So it's plus, it's 52,983.25 at the top.
Yeah, okay.
Add 23,667.56 in the middle. You get 76,650.81. You get that?
I got that.
That's what we spent in the first 30 days on parks and rec and Canby.
Okay, well then I'll go back to what my other,
Does that make sense?
I'll go back to what my other piece is.
Yeah,
Regular salaries and wages.
yeah.
Why are we paying those guys out of our parks maintenance fee? And why isn't it coming out of the general fund just like everybody else, all the other departments?
Well, I think that's what we're unpacking. And I think because I'm only in my 12th week here. We're thinking about creating, and I haven't talked to council about this yet, creating a Parks and Rec fund, a separate fund, like we have a sewer fund, and we have a street fund. If we create a Parks and Rec fund and take it out of the general fund, then you can have that conversation about how you're going to run your parks fund and what personnel are going to be allocated to that fund. Right now, it's all in the general fund, to your point. We haven't unpacked that yet. And council's gonna take a look at some work session concepts tomorrow night of what they wanna prioritize. This could be one of them.
Well, yeah. Because to me, parks maintenance fee was to go to upgrading our existing parks and making those changes. And that, I know at the time that the parks maintenance fee was put into place in 2018, we only had 3 parks employees. And the answer was always, we don't have enough employees to build a new park. So it was like, well, okay, the parks maintenance fee was created. And it was like, we could pay for one of those guys or 2 of those guys out of the parks maintenance fee. I mean, that's what was done. I don't agree with it. We have things that we need to make improvements on in our existing parks. And that's what that money should be used for. And it shouldn't be used for wages. All of that 52,983.
Yeah.
Regular salaries and wages, overtime, insurance benefits, taxes, other. All those are salaries for these guys. I mean, it ate up everything that we earned in our parks maintenance fee. And it's gonna do that the next month. It's probably gonna be the same thing. You're just, I don't know how many people,
Yeah.
52, I mean, how many employees are we paying for out of the parks maintenance fee? This 52,983 for a month. Is that for a month or for 6 months?
The 30 days, 30 days, 31 days.
And it ate it all up. And that's not what the intent of this park maintenance fee was meant for. And we've been asking for this for a long time. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And I know Jim and I have had this conversation, and he said, we can't go back and, wave a magic wand and make all that go away. It's moving forward. Well,
we can understand.
Moving forward is not the month of July. That's the first month. July, August, gonna be September, gonna be the same thing. October, same thing. We need to get hold of this now, and make it go away so that we can have an idea of what we're gonna do. We need to repave the parking lot at Legacy Park. Use our parks maintenance fee, pay for that. Okay, Jerry, I mean, there's probably. They needed a lawnmower. I mean, you guys put in for a lawnmower for like 30 grand or something like that. And it got turned down because they didn't have the money. What was the deal? Do you remember that? $30,000.
We were just cutting back on the general fund. So we ended up Randy helped us purchase that lawnmower. So,
Yeah.
But
That money should not fall under the general funds and be used wherever our finance department wants to use that.
What I'm hearing is very positive from Randy in the fact that I go into a parks department budget, and specifically identifying what the park maintenance fee would be used for and how it would be accounted for. And so that would require a change to the ordinance. In order to do that, the city council has to have a work session with recommendations on how do we move forward with it, because based on the ordinance, they're keeping track of the funds, the way the ordinance says.
Yeah,
Exactly. Track of the funds. Yeah. And so that's where we need to incorporate what you're asking, Barry, is change the ordinance so that we can keep track of that the proper way, and that I can represent that for a work session, try to get a work session scheduled as soon as possible.
So Jerry sent me a copy of the streets ordinance, and he sent me a copy, well, I've got a copy of the parks ordinance, like Randy has down there. And on my flight back from California, I went over that. And I mean, who needs to can we rewrite it? Want me to rewrite it? I just.
Now, I think we know what we want, it's a matter, and you would be attending the work session anyway. You know, so, we would get your input, representing this committee.
Sounds good.
Fine and dandy. And that covers the second part of that, the ordinance 1466. To create a separate
And
account.
if anyone needs a copy of that, I can get it for them if they want to read it.
Thank you, Randy.
Anything for us?
Not really. Randy mentioned the STCs. John and I are working with Randy on kind of ground truthing some of the costs that were in the STC list that we've all talked about quite a bit. Not changing the projects that are on the list, but some of the, especially the land costs, were just kind of high in the sky. And so we're talking about how to make those more realistic, which might not drastically change the maximum defensible fee, but it'll be more defensible of the methodology.
Yeah.
The other thing is just the comp plan stuff. We're still plugging away on that, and so thank you to everyone. I'm sure you all saw my emails about filling out the survey. We really appreciate everyone that filled that out. It's going to be really good for the comp plan chapters and the TSP and all that stuff. So thank you.
Do you still think the SDC methodology, Don, I think that you indicated that you hope to have something solid by the end of the year?
I told Don that would be your question, and so I posed that to him. He said his prediction is it'll probably slip into early next year.
All right, I have one more thing buried on my with Brian's done. So I have one more thing before we move to Jim's.
Oh, yeah.
If Brian's done. I did have promised Ray Smucker emailed in and said that he's been having a lot of trouble with speeding with e-bikes on the Longwood path. And so I just thought I would pass that on. I told him I'd bring it up here, and he's requesting signage. So, and then the other thing is, I want to let you know, I don't know if that came from here or what, but we had water issues from Ivy Ridge Park running onto the neighbors. Did that come from this group, or was that through planning commission? We had that Ivy Ridge Park that's not finished. We had water last year run onto the neighbor's property and all that stuff, and Public Works went out and installed a bench drain around it. So if anyone got complaints on that, I don't know where it came from. It's been resolved. All the neighbors are happy. Awesome. So is it planning? Okay. Okay. That's all I have.
Wasn't there a complaint about the speed on the?
Mr. Smucker. Ray Smucker, the old, he's the old doctor, he's my old doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he lives down
Lucky
in,
one trip.
yeah, he lives in
On what type of?
E-bikes?
Oh,
he lives Kara down in what's Doug's Breaks development? What do we call that? 7 acres. He's a 7-acre resident. Yeah, he knows a lot of people. So maybe I'll send that letter to Barry. That's the next meeting or something.
what would be the consequence? I mean.
I know, that's
ignore
why
it.
it's such a big conversation. I told them I would open the door, but we could follow
No,
up on it.
we've been almost killed several times, my
It's
bison, but
but on the street.
It's
So
worse
far,
because there's no police officer that potentially is even there to give them a ticket, whereas.
State trust, speed up to 5 feet.
Yes, it's fine. Fine,
All right, Jim, what do you have for us, council?
okay. So I apologize for not being here at the last meeting, but that was the same day that my wife was at see that, everybody's aware that the Canby Adult Center is moving and territorial, and they've received somewhat, their architects have received somewhat the permit requirements for that, which are very minor at this point in regards to, so they're gonna move forward with construction here soon, hiring a contractor, and getting moving. So, you know, you'll see a sign being changed down there indicating that that will be the Canby Adult Center. Is no longer a church, even the church does share the being able to do services within that. Randy, could you cover your meeting with the school superintendent that you covered with the city council in regards to the mayor, Randy and Jennifer met, and they did have some very positive talks in regards to the property at ID and 13th in regards to the old adult center and what's going to happen at the old adult center. Nothing concrete, just talked in general, talked about it in general for that particular building. My understanding is that it was very positive in regards to, from the school district side of things, that they're very community focused, and that what's best for the community for the use of that property moving forward, and they're going to continue their discussions. But that's what I heard at the last city council meeting.
Yeah, we sat down with the mayor and I met with the school superintendent and the school board chair in their offices for a couple hours, well, not a couple weeks ago. So just had a good, it was really informal conversation, talking about, it's the first time I think that the mayor and the chair and the superintendent have met, so it was good. They just caught up and got to know each other. They just discussed no cell phone policy right off the bat. They were implementing that for the first time in the schools, so they were a little nervous because school is starting the next week. So they were nervous how that was going to go. So I haven't heard, maybe you as parents have heard that. They talk about that. What's that?
I said, I heard it's great.
Really?
The kids are happy about it too.
All right.
They're actually talking to each other.
Yeah.
And
Oh, nice.
Good.
It's good,
Texting
really
each
good.
other, hey.
Instead of just being on their console.
They were, yeah, good. That's awesome. Yeah, they were actually saying, I'm curious if the kids, some kids were going to leave campus at noon and show up at businesses and maybe try to get a hotspot or something. That sounds like that doesn't happen. They were very kind about our relationship with our police department and the schools and the school resource officers that we have. There's a good partnership going on there, so that was affirmed. And then a lot of curiosity about getting big brains like yours in a room with school folks to ideate on just the art of the possible, what we could do as partners, community partners, with vacant school buildings, school properties, city properties. The concept of a YMCA or Boys and Girls Club came up. They're really into trades. You can actually get an associate's degree, they said, at Hawkins. Yeah, but through the Canby School District, so you can walk out of as a graduate and have your associate's degree in Canby. So we're pretty proud of that. So they're looking at ramping up trades and training CTE, and then using the Canby Adult Center facility potentially, someday, ideating on, a childcare center. So I asked Brian and Don if that's an allowable use, sounds like it is. But also like a learning lab for home ec or, different types of skills, skill sets for advanced training. And so getting a summit, kind of a community summit back together, it's been a couple of years since that's happened, to talk about potential. Sorry if I'm going on too long. That was sort of the takeaway. To take the next step. It sounds like there was a lot of dialogue that went on a few years back, 2018, 2019, I'm not sure when. So get the band back together again and try and see what can be done. They did want to reemphasize, they've been hearing a lot of chatter about schools closing, and they said use whatever mouthpiece you have, whatever microphone you have. We're not closing any schools. No elementary schools are being closed. So I guess there's been some rumors and chatter about that. Not happening.
The reason I bring that up is because through the comp plan, and trying to identify future parks, community centers and things like that, this is a possibility for open enough to have discussions anyway with the school district. For the use of that property.
They had a lot of energy.
Jennifer's.
Yes, yeah.
I love her.
She was like,
Great.
and when she looks at you, she's like locked in.
And
Yeah,
she's
it was like,
very transparent. I mean, the amount of meetings she held about the budget at every single school multiple times was, she's, yeah.
sounds like a tough budget.
That's why I'm like, what money do they have to put towards this? But,
No.
maybe.
All right. Anybody else have anything? No? May I get a motion to adjourn this meeting? Cinder? Is there a second for the motion? All right. Motion to adjourn, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. This meeting is over. Our next meeting, October the 21st, 6:30, right here.